Zoe. I was born and raised in Zimbabwe.
Uh,
I came here 2001, I think.
okay.
Yeah, it's been almost 20 years I've been here.
Yeah.
Okay, so who am I? I'm a mom too.
Okay. Uh-huh.
That's always a hard question. Like, when people say, "Who are you?" I'm like,
How do
I
you
can
answer that?
be anyone. Like, but anyways, I'm a mom of two.
Mm-hmm.
I own AB Safaris,
Mm-hmm.
and I live in Canada, and yeah, pretty much that's what it is. And then AB Safaris is a company that I started about a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and because I didn't want to work and I didn't want to do anything for nobody, so
Yeah.
I just decided to start that. Like, yeah.
Okay. So what is AP Safaris?
What is?
Yes.
Okay, so AV Safari stands for Authentic Backyard Safaris,
Uh-huh.
right? And a lot of people always say it's Alberta, and I'm like, no, it's
That's what I
Authentic
thought
Backyard
too.
Safaris.
Okay.
No, so
Uh-huh.
AV Safaris is Authentic Backyard Safaris, and what we do is we specialize in group travel,
Mm-hmm.
right? To Africa, we specialize in African safaris. We do other travel as well, but Africa is like my number one. Africa is home, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like my specialty. That's what I'm passionate about, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So AV Safaris focuses on group travel. We we offer like event travel. Uh, like if you have a special event, like
Mm-hmm.
birthdays, honeymoons, like high
Mm-hmm.
school reunions, like Serengeti marathons. Like if you just want to go,
Yeah.
do something crazy. So we specialize in adventure safaris, luxury safaris, family safaris, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot that we do. We're pretty
Yeah.
much like a travel agency, right? But just specializing in Africa.
Exactly. Okay. So how did you get started? Like when did you realize that, you're really passionate about this?
Okay, so how it started is
Mm-hmm.
when I was growing up, I've always wanted to be like a flight attendant, right? But then because I'm so short, like back then you wouldn't make the cut when you're short. So height, it was like some kind of disability, right? So
Uh-huh.
I've always wanted to be a flight attendant, but because of height and stuff like that, so I didn't make the cut. So that was kind of disappointing. And then
Mm-hmm.
I kind of forgot about it for some time, and then I did hairdressing and kind of, I've done everything, but it was kind of
Yeah.
boring. And I didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel like fulfilled with anything, right? So when I moved here, 2001, I went back to school. I upgraded. Then I went to college a couple years later. I did global tourism and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked for CS Travel
Mm-hmm.
for about 2 years. But it was kind of boring because still I was working for someone else, right? And I wasn't still like doing what I like to do.
Yeah.
So we went on it's called a fam trip, like where travel agents, they go and familiarize themselves with some resorts and stuff like that. We get invited. So I met
Mm-hmm.
these ladies um, from Flight Center. And so we just started talking. They're like, so what are you doing? And I'm like, I work for CS Travel. And they all looked at me like, are you crazy? Like, what are you doing over there? And I'm like, I'm working. And they're like, no, you need to join Flight Center and stuff like that. And you can be your own boss. You can do like independent travel from home. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you can do that. And they're like, yeah. So I joined Flight Center a couple of months later after we came back from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that like for about a year and a half. But
Mm-hmm.
still, like, I was still doing the same thing that like everybody was doing, like still selling travel, all inclusive. Like, so competition was way too much, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then one day we went again on another conference in Mexico. Now I was with Flight Center.
Mm-hmm.
The same lady that told me to join Flight Center was like,
Mm-hmm.
so what are you doing? What do you specialize in? And I was like, I'm doing a bit of everything. She's like, what's wrong with you? Like, why aren't you just focusing in Africa? Because that's where you're from. So it's more authentic, like if you're doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know why I never thought about it. But anyways, sometimes God puts people in your life for a reason, right? So
Right?
I came back home and I was like, what was she saying? Like, what is she saying exactly? So I did a bit of research and stuff like that. And then I just came about, I was like, okay, she's right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Africa that, people don't know about, like, the Africa that people show on TV is like the poor kids and stuff like that, which was like, it's just like, but so that's when it started. And I was like, okay, AP Safaris. So that's how it came about. And that's where
Mm-hmm.
I started. So that's where I got kind of, you know, Africa is like home, pretty
Mm-hmm.
much. Like there's no two ways about it, right? So that's what inspired me to start that. And now I feel like I'm going to where I'm going, like,
Yeah,
so
definitely. Okay. So
yeah,
how long ago did you start AP Safaris?
it's going to be about 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 years.
2.5
Yeah,
years. Okay, that's awesome.
yeah.
And what tours and places have you gone to in Africa?
I haven't done much tours
Mm-hmm.
because I had children. Like, when you have children, you're kind of grounded. Like, you just at home, but I have had
Yeah.
clients that have traveled.
Mm-hmm.
So I've sent clients to Tanzania, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Botswana, uh, Ghana, uh, Morocco, Egypt. So I've had clients that have gone like a bit of kind of everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been to South Africa, Zimbabwe, of course, a bit
Yeah.
of Botswana, Mexico. So yeah, and I'm headed to Tanzania this May.
Okay.
So that's quite exciting, right?
Yeah.
So and then the tours that we have right now, oof, we have like quite a lot. So I'll try to go with the ones that I remember from the top of my head. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we have it for in November. It's the Serengeti Marathon. So it's
Mm-hmm.
where, we travel. It's a Serengeti and safari combined together.
Mm-hmm.
So the Serengeti Marathon is just a one-day event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have like 11 days to do a safari, a beach holiday in Zanzibar, lots of adventure. It's like all packed. It's like one
Mm-hmm.
event that if you like running or if you just want to go on a safari, an adventurous safari, then I would encourage someone to join in. That's
Mm-hmm.
happening in November.
Mm-hmm.
And then in October, we're going to Egypt for about 11 days.
Mm-hmm.
December, there's a family safari where you can take your children, like, so that one again is another 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
January going to South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Botswana.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So far, those are the ones that I remember, and we're adding some more on to the list.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's a lot, but what I can tell you is the safaris that we put, they're unique. They're not just safaris you can walk to like any travel agency
Mm-hmm.
and get, right? Because we custom make all our safaris, like we just do them on our own. So we put every little detail together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have one that's where you go stargazing. You go stargazing in 5 countries.
Mm-hmm.
So you go,
Okay.
yeah. So it's just pretty much a stargazing safari, but it's combined. It does have some game drives and it does have some adventures and stuff like that. But mostly the main focus is stargazing. So we have beds set up outside and you just sleep the whole night outside, which is like something unique, right? It's
Definitely.
something, yeah.
Okay.
And then so yeah, that's pretty much what we have right now. And we're
Okay.
going to be adding more countries and more tours like coming up 2020.
Yeah. So how many people who usually go on a tour? Like, let's say I was a solo traveler. Am I able to join, or I kind of have to have my own group of people that we go together with?
We do cater for anybody, right? We do
Okay.
cater for solo travel. Like I said, solo, we do solo, we do honeymoons, like couples, we
Mm-hmm.
do any type. But we just specialize. We just like groups, right? Because when you do groups, you get to meet different people. You get to make new friends. You get to learn different people's personalities, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. So, but anybody is welcome. Like I said, we do family safaris as well. So if you're solo, you are welcome. We
Yeah.
can do anything for you, right?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so is it so when you pay for a safari, is it all inclusive or there's extra things that when you get to a certain country you have to pay for?
Like we do all inclusive. So when we say all inclusive, right, we include an international flight,
Mm-hmm.
your transfers, like your transportation from one hotel to the other, because like with safaris, you get to move, like time and time again. Food, or your accommodation, or your adventures. Some adventures are included depending because there's so many of them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
some people would want to do like, for example, a hot air balloon. Some
Mm-hmm.
don't want to do that, right?
Yeah.
So we try like so for adventures, some of them are a bit extra, but when we put together an itinerary, it's all inclusive: flights, international flights, food, accommodation, like I said, your transportation, your inland flights. Like if we were to travel, for example, from Mwanza in Tanzania to Zanzibar, you
Mm-hmm.
require a flight. So that's an inland flight. So that is included. So what's not included would be your visa, like at port of entry, that you can get at port of entry,
Mm-hmm.
and cash for souvenirs, right? And just excursions. So those are like extras, right? So when we
Yeah.
say all inclusive, it's your flights, your inland flights, your transfers, accommodation, food, drinks. Some drinks are not included because they're premium, they're like high end,
Yeah. Yeah.
but those like pretty much those are imports, which I'm just like, if you go into a destination, why would you want to drink Jack Daniels? You have
Yeah.
your own stuff over there. Like you gotta live like a local, right? For the
Um,
time being. Yeah.
mhm.
And they have like so much yummy beer. I don't drink beer, but I know it is yummy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to go and book for the Serengeti Marathon happening in November, how long before the start date do I have to book my ticket or like book the safari? How long would you recommend?
Um, like anywhere from 6 months to a year is fine. It depends on your finance, right? Some
Mm-hmm.
people have cash laying around, some people don't. They have to plan. So it just depends on like how, like, depends on your pocket. But 6 months, I'd say 6 months to a year
Mm-hmm.
to do something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And
And
for places, sorry.
now I was saying like, so we do have like payment plans, right? So where you put a
Mm.
deposit down and then your balance is due like 60 days before travel date.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. And so for places that you have the safaris, do you recommend that the travelers do research before, or do you provide like a pamphlet or provide like research for the clients, customers?
Like I always give clients, like, I over give them details.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so what I do, how I get clients to do something is I have talks around town, right? So where I would market that we're having a safari talk, we're promoting this event, like so for example, like the marathon, we have an event like where we're going to be doing a presentation about it
Mm-hmm.
in April. So what happens at the presentation? I give the clients like the whole scope of the itinerary from start to end, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then there's always extra information, right, about the country. I have to tell you about the country. I have to tell you about safety. I have to tell you about currency they use. I have to tell you what to bring. I have to tell you, like, the do's and the don'ts,
Yeah.
right? So that's like
Yeah.
the most important, because when you're traveling to a different country, you want to listen and understand how those people operate, and you want to go in and blend in.
Yeah.
Blending in is very important because you don't want to stand out. When you
Yeah.
stand out, you become a target, right? So
Yeah.
I give my clients as much information as I can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if something happens to you, there's too much liability I have to deal with, and it's better for me to give you all the necessary information that you need
Mm-hmm.
than
Mm-hmm.
just saying, yeah, you booked a safari, here you go, bye, see you
Yeah.
later. Like,
Yeah.
so I take the time and like really educate you
Mm-hmm.
and tell you exactly what you need, like before you go. Like we give information about what vaccinations you need,
Mm-hmm.
the type of insurance that you need, like what to bring, what not to bring, the dress code, because there's a dress code for safari, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and yeah, so we do provide that information. If you go do your research, even better, but
Mm-hmm.
like we provide everything.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. And we have a question here.
Okay.
So, do you guys have an office in town or it's all online?
No, we don't have like an office,
Mm-hmm.
like a stand-alone office. No, we
Mm-hmm.
work from we do virtual offices. But what I do is, if I have a client, we meet. I like meeting face to face. So we pick a place, we go meet over coffee or lunch or something, and then we talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not like a big travel agency where we require an office, like
Yeah.
so. It's
Mm-hmm.
a we are a mobile. I'd like to say we're mobile. We're
Mm.
mobile office. Yeah,
Okay. That's that's
yeah.
that's the way business is going these days, right? Yeah.
If you
And
can cut down on overhead costs, then hey, why not?
do it, save some
Yeah.
money, right? And so another question, do you have to be in Canada? Like, does the originating destination have to be in Canada or Edmonton, or it can be anywhere in North America or the world?
It could be anywhere because
Mm-hmm.
like how we package the safaris is
Mm-hmm.
we do land, right? So land is separate from the international flight, right?
Oh.
Because like we have different gateways. So for example, here in Canada, I would have people leaving from Toronto, right? I have people leaving from Calgary. So I can't really put
Mm-hmm.
the flight right away
Mm-hmm.
together. And there could be people leaving from Zimbabwe coming to Tanzania. Like I have people leaving from Zim. Right? So we do like the all-inclusive package is like a land only, right? And then I add the flights depending on your gateway where you're coming from. But yeah,
Okay.
it's a global thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
And besides safaris, do you offer any other vacations for now?
Yes, we
Oh.
do. Like I said, anywhere in the world. If you wanna take a train from If you want the Eurostar, I can get you a pass. Like if you want a cruise in the Caribbean, I could
Mm-hmm.
do that. So pretty
Mm-hmm.
much we do all travel. We just specialize in safaris.
In safaris. Okay. Okay. And
But yeah,
yeah.
we do everything.
All right. And right now, so where can we, if we wanted to book a safari, where do we go? Or yeah, or we wanted to book any other travels, where can we find?
I have a website.
Mm-hmm.
It's www.absafaris.ca.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you would fill out your information and
Mm-hmm.
then you send it to me, and then we set up an appointment where
Mm-hmm.
we it's like a consultation, right? So we set up an appointment and then we talk.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the website, there is a few um, there is a few tours that we have. They are
Mm-hmm.
on the website, so you can kind of see, right, what
Yeah.
we have and what we offer, and then we'll book a time with me, and then we do a face to face, we talk, and then
Mm-hmm.
I hear what you're saying because safaris are like I don't even know. It's not something that you can just say, oh yeah, I need to go on a safari, and yeah, boom, you like
Yeah.
because I have to know what you want to do at destination because different countries they offer different like activities, they offer different safaris, like and adventure safaris are different countries, so I have to sit down and talk with you and make sure you understand and you are getting exactly what you want to do, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because like Southern Africa. will offer a different safari than in East Africa, right? So it
Mm,
just depends on what kind of adventure and what kind of thing, like activity you want to do. So it's better we meet, we talk face
mm,
to face,
mhm,
like, you get to, like, and then I suggest, and then you tell me what you want.
mhm.
It's
Okay.
easier that way.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, how much do safaris range from?
It depends. It
Mm-hmm.
depends on a number of things. How many days you want to go for, what
Mm-hmm.
you want to do, what type of accommodation you want. Because on a safari, there's different types of accommodations, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can have your basic camping where you just pitch a tent somewhere and that's it. So that's like basic wild camping. That's like the cheapest basic.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your lodge safaris where you like, kind of lodges and hotels, that kind of thing. And then you have luxury camping, which is like permanent tents that are like outside in the bushes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it depends on
Mm-hmm.
how many days,
Mm-hmm.
how long you want to go for,
Mm-hmm.
and what you want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from the top of my head, I would say maybe basic safari, like just camping, maybe 10 days. It could be about 3,500,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they range anywhere from $33,000 all the way to $100,000, just depending on what you want to do,
Yeah.
what you want to see, how much time you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay. So do you think everyone should experience a safari experience once in their life kind of thing? You think people need that?
absolutely.
Yeah. How
Absolutely.
come?
I would encourage people, like, I would encourage people to do a safari once in your lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly speaking, you see here, we are so enclosed. We are just, it's
Mm-hmm.
always work. This, like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's so busy here. Like, there's no time to relax. There's no time to rest. And it's good to go on a safari because you come back with a different perspective. Like you get to see how it is in the other side of the world, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and if a safari is not on your bucket list, I would encourage you to put it on your
Add
bucket list.
on.
You won't regret it. You will not regret it. Like you'll
Mm-hmm.
come back a changed person. Like, and no two safaris are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's seriously like something one has to experience in their lifetime.
Yeah.
And right now, like I said, like you can take your kids from a very young age, like 7 years old. You could do a family safari. You get to learn a lot. You learn a
Mm-hmm.
lot on a safari. So yeah, everybody should be on their bucket list. It
Yeah.
should be on the bucket list.
Okay, definitely. So we'll
Yeah.
add it on for those who didn't have it on, and then I have a question here.
And guys, I want to get married. You could
Uh,
think about a safari wedding.
oh,
That's like something we're going to be introducing as
yeah.
well. So yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. Question here. So, is AP Safaris independently owned?
Yes, yes, I am the sole owner of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's good to know. Those are all the questions that I have for you. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
Ooh, what? You know something about me. When I start talking about safaris, I don't stop. So
Uh-huh.
I'd rather people ask the questions
Mhm. Keep going. Tell us. Tell us. Mhm.
because I really I don't know where to stop.
Mhm.
That's the thing. But like I said, it's a safari is something that you should definitely have on your bucket list,
Mhm.
right? And it will change the way you think. It will change your perspective, like honestly, and you will learn a lot, especially if you do like a safari with combined with a lot of culture, like culture tours where you go see like how it is, like it's real. Everything is handmade. They are self-sustained. Like it's just amazing.
Mhm.
Like and it will be the best money you ever spend.
Mhm. So
That
what?
I can guarantee you. And most of our group travel are escorted by me. They
Okay.
will be escorted by me, right? So I mean, I don't know how much I can tell you to
Yeah.
convince you to come next time. But
Yeah.
definitely,
Uh-huh.
definitely.
Okay. Well, definitely check out the websites and look at the tours that you have. And I hope you'll be seeing most of us soon, you know, on the safari tour pretty soon.
That would be nice. That would be
Yeah.
nice.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much. Okay. Can you see me? All right.